Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today's video is gonna be a little different. Normally I would post footage of the prior week in the competition. So today's gonna be kind of like just a regular vlog talking about some things, but I'm gonna incorporate some things from the original video from round 3 of the Pride Superstar competition. So last week was round 3 and the theme was inspiration. Anything that inspires you, music, people, sounds, anything. So obviously, all of you who know me know Mariah Carey is like my biggest inspiration as an artist, as a producer, a singer, a songwriter. She writes all of her own material, she produces all of her own material. She's just an all-around icon. And I feel like I relate to her on so many levels, the being interracial, the career highs and lows that she's had, and she's always come back with such resilience. So she always has inspired me to keep persevering and keep going forward. She's amazing. She has been a light in my life since I was a kid and ever heard myself sing for the first time. I remember hearing her on the radio and thinking, oh my God, who is this lady and how does she do that with her voice? And thinking, man, I would love to be able to do that or sing something like that. And then I started getting into her deeper album cuts and realizing there was messages, deep messages in some of her music that the general public may not know or listen. But anyway, so there was a song from her Music Box album, which came out in 1993 that I was only 4 years old when that came out. But there's a song on that album called Hero, which a lot of people know, and a lot of people love that song. Me being one of those people, that song has inspired me. It changed my life. Anytime that I was in a dark place or a low place, I always would turn to that song for strength or some sort of guidance. And it's always just been a really uplifting and inspirational song, as simple as the messages in it, lyrically, the way she sings it, her interpretation of it, and she wrote it, it always just kind of, I don't know, it just resonated with me. It's a beautiful song, and the lyrics, you know, there's a hero if you look inside your heart, you don't have to be afraid of who you are. And me just coming out at 29 years old, I always attach myself to that lyric, you don't have to be afraid of who you are, even though it took me obviously 29 years to finally do what I wanted to do and be who I wanted to become. That lyric always just kept me strong. You don't have to be afraid of who you are. So I chose to sing Hero because of that reason. Now, mind you, I am a guy, and even though I have a huge range vocally, I took on a Mariah Carey song. And when I got to sound check, I don't have any of this on video, but when I got to sound check, I couldn't find my note in the lower key because I was going to sing in a lower key. That might not have been the smartest of ideas, in fact. The song begins, and I'm nervous because my voice was already fatigued. I wasn't where I wanted to be vocally, and I knew that. So I was scared, but there is this thing about me that when I get on stage and I get behind the microphone, I always just kind of, I don't know, like this other person, this other personality takes over, and the scared, meek, mild, like nervous Isaac right before going on kind of just disappears. That's kind of what happens, and I knew that that would kind of happen. That always happens before I get on to sing. But this time, that wasn't happening. I could not get it together to save my life. But I knew that the message of the song was stronger than my voice being fatigued or the crowd not receiving it well or me not being able to give it what I needed to. So if any of you judges are watching, thank you so much for your cooperation with me, even though I sounded awful. I got up there, I sang the song, and then we get to the bridge and the climax of the song, and I go to hit the note for the big part on the lyric. That note, except for like 10 keys higher, and I cracked. That was my literal reaction in my head when that happened. As many of you probably would have felt like I did, embarrassed, terrified, but I kept chugging along. I finished the song out with a strong finish. forward. There's not much else you can do. You're in a competition. But the moral of this video and the moral of the story is, when I was going for that note, I was in my head. I was scared, I was nervous, I was thinking about it too much, whereas normally I would just kind of let it be and acclimate to that moment and change what I needed to or improvise, and I didn't. But what I did do is I kept going. So in a way, the song was perfect, even though I cracked big time. Because there are a lot of times in life where you can't hit the note. Several aspects and several different facets of who you are and several different facets of life. You're not always gonna hit the note. And that was a lesson for me. Instead of overthinking it, instead of panicking about it, instead of just going with the flow, I did the opposite of that. Thankfully, I progressed to the next round, which means I'm really gonna have to bring it next week. When you can't get on the note in anything in life, you just keep going. You have to keep persevering, you have to keep chugging along. The song didn't stop because my voice didn't come out, and life's not gonna stop just because you didn't get it right. Hell, I'm going through so many of them right now. Lord, I could write a book. But whether it's a failed relationship, been there, done that, failed relationship with your parents, a friendship, any type of failure, you just have to learn that when you don't hit the note, you have to keep going. There's really not much else you can do. Life's gonna go on. Eventually, you'll be able to look back and say, wow, okay, this is what I could have done differently, and you learn from it and you keep growing. With that, I can take and move forward that, okay, I'm not always gonna hit the note. I'm not always gonna hit the note when I sing the song. I'm not always gonna hit the note in life. I'm not always gonna hit the note in every endeavor, but it's okay. You're gonna just have to keep chugging along and keep going. Yeah. Next week's theme is soundtracks. So if you could, in the comment section below, drop a comment with a song suggestion that you might have for me for next week from a soundtrack. I still don't know what I'm gonna sing, which is not unusual for me because I tend to last minute shit all the time. Yeah, so unfortunately I don't have a lot of footage from last week, but that's the moral of the story. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you give it a like, a thumbs up, a subscribe button. Follow me on all my social media platforms. It'll be in the link it'll be in the description below. And yeah, like I said, drop a comment with what you saw in this video, the big crack and everything. Also, side note, I included that in there because what's life without a little bit of poking some fun at yourself? It's not always that serious, and even though in the moment it was like the world stopped and I probably bitched about it the rest of the night to everybody, it is what it is, and you keep going. So yeah, I'll catch you guys next week. Bye.